Okay.
I'm sorry, gentlemen. Yesterday, I had a colonoscopy this morning, so I couldn't learn last night because I was busy preparing for the colonoscopy.
Hala, Mario, you put the recording on. It's a little bit too much information.
Hello.
What are you more familiar with? What are you more familiar with? Rosh Hashanah or the colonoscopy?
I was going to say that we're planning to do the Navi Shir Saturday night, 8:30 p.m. We'll do the
On
Daf
Sunday?
Motzei Shabbos this week.
I know, but then on Sunday again?
No, because I have a bar mitzvah. I have a bas mitzvah. I have some kind of simcha. So we're doing it. Well, so we're doing it Saturday night, 8:30.
It's a simcha on Saturday night too. You should know.
No, there's nothing on Saturday night.
There's a Malad Molka. Okay.
Well,
I'm just telling you. Check it out.
But I got about 10 responses that Saturday night worked out for most people.
That's fine. It's fine.
It'll be taped.
Okay.
We'll tape it, but I did get a positive response from Motzei Shabbos 8:30. I'm thinking, I want us to think about it, particularly when we move the clock, but even not so, that in general we move the Navi Shir to Motzei Shabbos now instead of Sunday, because Sunday night people have told me they want to go out with their families, this, that, whatever. So let's just think about it. Maybe we do it in general Motzei Shabbos for a while and see how that works. But let's see how this one goes. We'll do the Daf Yomi at 8 o'clock Motzei Shabbos.
All right.
Okay? And then
Very good.
it'll be also for an hour, like we've been doing, 8:30 to 9:30. Motzei Shabbos, people can still go out if they want afterwards. Okay?
All right.
Okay.
We're ready to start.
Okay. Arba Rosh Hashanim Heim. There are 4 Rosh Hashanahs a year. Be'echad b'Nisan, Rosh Hashanah l'Mlochim v'L'Regalim. It's the Rosh Hashanah for kings and for Yontif. Rashi. Regilim ayilim no zman shtoroseim lishnos hamelech. When you would write a star, you would say the 3rd year of Melech Shlomo. You wouldn't say 1990. You wouldn't say 2021. The date would be the year of the king of. This is the 3rd year of his reign or the 4th year of his reign. Mishana sha'amad ba Melech. And it was done mishum shalom malchus. The kavu chachamim echad b'nisan l'tchila shnaso. The 1st year, it's always the 1st of Nisan, which switches the year. So, for example, if he's appointed in Adar, once Nisan comes, already the 2nd year. The Gemara will explain what it means by Yontif. Be'echad be'elul Rosh Hashanah l'maiser behema. Rasri shein maiser min analodim b'shana zu analodim b'chaverta. The farmer has to give 1/10 of all of his newborn animals. But it's a fiscal year. You don't count the ones that were born in this year versus that year. So every animal born before Echad Be'elul is in one fiscal year. And you have to count 900 of those, and then you give 90 Meiser Behema. Then those that were born after Echad Be'elul are in their own count. They disagree. They say Meiser Behema is not Echad Be'elul, but they say it's Echad B'Tishrei. Then so we've dealt so far with 2 Rosh Hashanahs. Now comes the 3rd Rosh Hashanah. Be'echad b'Tishrei Rosh Hashanah l'shanim. The Gemara will tell us what that means. V'la shmitin, calculating shmita. V'la yoivlois. So when Tishrei comes, the yoivel will start. Linatia. For example, you planted a new fruit tree in Av when Rosh Hashanah comes, Echad B'Tishrei, it's already the second year. Right? Remember, the fruit of Orla is 3 years. So that's how you calculate the years of Orla. Uli Yerakos for Meiser Yerek. Again, the fiscal year concept. Everything, all the vegetables before Echad B'Tishrei versus after. Now, the fourth Rosh Hashanah is Echad B'Shvat. Rosh Hashanah le'ilonos. Le'ilon. Kedivrei Beis Shammai. Beis Hillel oimer b'chamisha aser bo, it's Tu B'Av, Tu B'Shvat, not Echad B'Shvat. That's for Meiser Peiros. Just like we talked about Meiser Yerek, Meiser Peiros goes by this Rosh Hashanah in terms of its fiscal year. So the Gemara says, Limlochim l'mai hilchasa. When we say that Echad B'Nisan is Rosh Hashanah for kings, what nafkamina is that? Rav Chizah Lishtaros, Rav Chizah Lishtaros. This not Shtar Chava Mukdamim Psulim. Let's say Kenny is borrowing $1,000 from Harold. So they would put a date on when the loan was funded. Let's say March 1 of 2021. Why is that date important? Because if the loan was done ba'achrayus, with a guarantee, come the end of the loan, if Kenny doesn't pay the $1,000 back to Harold, Harold is allowed to take a field that belongs to Kenny worth $1,000. But the date is what determines when the lien is there. So, for example, Rashi says, and let's say Kenny had sold the field April 1 to somebody else. Harold has the right to go to those people that bought the field from Kenny and take it from them because the field had a lien on it after March 1. Now, a shtar mukdam is a loan that the shtar is dated January 1, even though it was only funded March 1. So a shtar like that is puzzle because it would allow Harold to be toiref. Kenny's allowed to sell a field in February to somebody else, and Harold would have no right to take that field. So not having the right date and certainly doing an early date would allow fields that you don't have a right to take. So that's why they're a puzzle. Mu'ucharim ksherim. If Kenny wants to date the note May 1 and that ruins him, so that's kosher. But all these dates have to be done based on the year of the reign of the king. It wasn't 2021, it was the second year of the reign of Queen Elizabeth. Melech Shalom Beser Matisha B'Adar. Melech is coronated the 29th of Adar. Kivan Shigia Echad B'Nisan. Echad B'Nisan is also, he's already the second year of his reign. One day is considered like a whole year. If he was coronated, Echad B'Nisan, his second year doesn't happen until the next Echad B'Nisan. Amar Melech Shalom Beser Matisha B'Adar. Kivan Shigia Echad B'Nisan also Loshana. Hakamashmalon the Nisan Rosh Hashanah L'Mlachim. It teaches me that Echad B'Nisan is the year that we count how many years there are to the king's reign, and Yom Echad B'Shana Chashuv Shana. Even one day in a year is considered, one day of a year is considered like the whole year. But if he was coronated the first day of Nisan, his second year doesn't hit until next year Nisan. Pshita, says the Gemara, of course. Maybe he was voted on in Adar and then coronated. Maybe by being voted on, that already triggers the year. Kamash didn't know. Tarabonon meis ba'adar. V'omer acher tachtav ba'adar. The old king died in Adar, and a new king was appointed already in Adar. So it's considered the 38th year of the last king and the first year of the new king. Shana Lezev Lezev. Meis b'Nisan v'omer acher tachtav b'Nisan. He died in Nisan, was appointed, a new one was appointed in Nisan. Again, Moinin Shana Lezev Lezev. It's already the next year for that king. It's the 40th year for the old king. And it's the first year for the new king. The old king died in Adar, and it took them a while to get their act together and appoint a new king. He was only appointed the next month. So Moinin Rishoina L'Rishon. The other guy gets his year. Ushniya L'Sheni, the new year is the new year for the new king. That's the Baraisa. Amar Mar. Meis ba'adar v'amarachar tachtav ba'adar. Moinin Shon Zeluzeh. Pshita. Why wouldn't I think that works? Ma'odesema. Shasal be'trei lo maninan. Maybe we don't count that this is the 38th year for the last king and the first year of the new king. Maybe we don't count for two kings that way. Kamash Malon that we do. Meis b'nisan v'amarachar tachtav b'nisan moinin shon zeluzeh. Same thing. Pshita. Ma'odesema ki amrin yom echad b'shana choshuv shana b'sof shana. Maybe when we said that one day looks like a whole year, that's only at the end of a year. But maybe at the beginning of a year, we wouldn't say such a svara. Kamash one that we do say a svara. The old king died in Adar, the new king was appointed in Nisan, Moinin Rishon el Rishon, Ushni l'Shein. Again, Pshita, why would I think different? Lo tzricha di'imnu alei Adar. Perhaps the new king that was appointed in Nisan was voted on in Adar, Umelech ben Melechu, and he's the son of a previous king. And maybe Mao the same Aninu le Tartin Shanim. We knew, maybe this should be already his second year. Kamash V'lan, that we go after when he was Mamish coronated. Period. Rav Yochanan. Where is the source that we use Nisan as the Rosh Hashanah for Malachim? Shenema. 480 years after Klal Yisrael left Mitzrayim. Vashana HaRevius, we're going to see that means the 4th year of Shlomo HaMelech's reign. The Chodesh Ziv, which is the 2nd month, Hu HaChodesh HaSheni, Limloch Shlomo Al Yisrael. Mekish Malchus Shlomo Litzis Mitzrayim. There's a Hekesh. Ma Yitzis Mitzrayim mi Nisan, Af Malchus Shlomo mi Nisan. Freit the Gemara Yitzis Mitzrayim Gufa Minolim Benisan mi Maninan. How do we know that we count Yitzis Mitzrayim from Nisan? Maybe we count that from Tishrei. Lo Salkadait. That's not a good Havamina. And the Gemara goes through an interesting proof for that. In Sefer Bamidbar, Parshas Chukas, it says, Vayal Arna Koin El Hora Har Al Pi Hashem. Vayamas Sham, Bishnas Har Boim, let's say it's Mitzrayim. Arna Koin dies in the 40th year from when they left Egypt. B'chodesh HaChamishi, right? Chodesh Av, which is Be'echad B'chodesh, that's the 5th month after Nisan. Then it says, in the beginning of Sefer Dvorim, when Moshe Rabbeinu begins his soliloquy, Vayi bar boim shana be'ashtei asar chodesh be'echad l'chodesh diber Moshe. It says, in the 40th year, in the 11th month, right, Rosh Chodesh Shvat, right, Moshe Rabbeinu begins to talk about Sefer Dvorim. Midikoiba of the Koilish Nasar Boy. We called it the 40th year. We were in Av. Now, what month is between Av and Shvat? Tishrei, right? The Koilish Shvat, the Koilish Nasar Boy. Michlal, the Rosh Hashanah loved Tishrei. The Rosh Hashanah of that year had to be Nisan. For both Av and Shvat to be considered in the same year. If Tishrei would have been Rosh Hashanah, Av would have been the 39th year, and Tishrei and Shvat would have been in the 40th year. So Bishul Meheich Mefaresh L'Tzias Mitzrayim. So the pasuk of Aaron says clearly, Bishnas Arboim L'Tzias Mitzrayim. But Moshe's pasuk doesn't say anything about L'Tzias Mitzrayim. It says Vayi Bar Arboim Shana B'Shtei Asar Chodesh B'Echad HaChodesh. Doesn't say anything L'Tzias Mitzrayim. So you can tell me Aaron HaKohen, that we know clearly is a count 40th year from Yetzias Mitzrayim. Elahai Mimaydi L'Tzias Mitzrayim Dil Malak Hakomas HaMishkan. Maybe for Moshe Rabbeinu, it's from the Hakomas HaMishkan, and not necessarily from Yetzias. It's from the second year. Second year, Rosh Chodesh Nisan was when they put up the Mishkan. Who says it was Yetzias Mitzrayim? So the Gemara answers Kedom Rav Papa later on. Shnas Esrim L'Gzer Shava. He's going to say Shnas is a Gzer Shava. Ochanami Shnas Arboim L'Gzer Shava. The pasuk by Aaron, which says Shnas Arboim, and the pasuk by Moshe that says Shnas Arboim, Vahi Bar Arboim Shana, right? Makan, clearly by Aaron, it states clearly the Yetzias Mitzrayim. Avkan Yetzias Mitzrayim. So we have a proof that Tishrei could not be the Rosh Hashanah for Yetzias Mitzrayim. But the Gemara is not convinced. Mimai de Maisa de Av Kotim. Dilma Maisa de Shvat Kotim. Maybe what happened in Shvat happened before the Maisa of Av. So the Gemara says Lo Sakadait. Because Moshe Rabbeinu's soliloquy begins, it tells us that Moshe started speaking after he had fought Sichon. But when Aaron died, Sichon was still alive. So that clearly places the death of Aaron in Av prior to the death to the speech of Moshe in Shvat.
Doesn't Chumash also say that Moshe Rabbeinu was given a death like the death of Aaron? Am I wrong?
And therefore what?
Therefore, Aaron must have died before Moshe. How could Moshe get Aaron's death, the Neshika, if Aaron is still alive? I don't remember if it's a pasuk or a Rash. I don't remember.
Yeah. Nechanami. But remember, the raya that we're bringing here
It's not the
is
same.
from when he started the speech in Sefer Dvarim, the beginning, Eila Dvarim Asher Diber Moshe al Bnei Yisrael. So that started Rosh Chodesh Shvat. Now, Nechanami, he died 37 days later on Zion Adar. So the Gemara could have brought a proof, but that's a chazal. The Gemara is here trying to bring mamish from psukim, from Prat and psukim.
Okay.
What you bring, that he had the Misa Nashika, that's what you're referring to there, is a chazal. But here they're actually trying to bring it from psukim.
Yeah,
Okay.
but you see that Moshe Rabbeinu fought afterwards with them, so it couldn't have been the same time.
What was that, Walter?
No, I see the timeline is different in the Chumash. So you see that, well, that's why I said it.
Yeah, but remember,
And doesn't it say that? Isn't Moshe Rabbeinu the one who took Aaron up and took off his begadim? Wasn't that Moshe Rabbeinu?
Yeah. So there's
We have to be alive. I don't understand why the Gemara even struggles with this. Seems to be obvious to me.
Yeah, that's
not
correct.
only that, I feel from the Gemara that it already made its proof when it says that that Av and Shvat were in the same year, and they're both called 40. Well, we know Shvat happens after Av. So I don't understand why the Gemara took now another detour to say, how do we know which one happened first? right? Mimai de Maisa de Av Kodim, Dilma Maisa de Shvat Kodim. That can't be. Because they're both in the 40th year. Once you establish, maybe because we're still trying to prove that Tishrei is not the Rosh Hashanah. Maybe if
Right.
Yeah.
Tishrei was still the Rosh Hashanah, it could have been that the Ma'aser of Shvat happened before Av. Yeah. So the Achrei HaKoiso Esichon is the proof there, because we know the Gemara is going to bring us a proof that Aaron was not alive when the Battle of Sichon took place. So it doesn't give us what Kenny's saying. Why don't we say Moshe Rabbeinu was, because it has to do with when Sichon, we don't know exactly when the Battle of Sichon is. So that I think that's correct. So we'll see. Anyways, tomorrow the Daf Yomi is at 7:30.
Yeah.
Just for the Tzurba, we're finishing Mirz Hashem Yoreh Day. It's a big event. We're definitely going to have a siyum for that, and they've sent certificates. We've got to give them. We have to have a party for that to complete one chelik in Shulchan Aruch, especially Yoreh Day. And we definitely have to do that. But we're going to start volume 8 tomorrow. So bring out your volume 8s because we will start that tomorrow.
Shkoyach.
Yeah.